as Rogue. You have a very consistent plan to punish them for weak draws. You are not going to beat their most absolute powerful things that they can do, but they have to have picture-perfect cards for that.
Here it goes. Seiko on Rogue, Pheno on Mage, BlizzCon spot on the line, Global Finals spot on the line. Pheno not even waiting for us to get into game before he rips that magic trick.
He's ready to go.
He is.
I would say that neither of these players have shied away from pace of play when they're confident in the actions they're going to take.
Yep. Both players that went their feet. Whoa, okay. All right.
You saw the look on Pheno's face where it's like, well, I guess if that's the draw, I'll do the thing. Spell, 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 Mana Cyclone.
Pheno's seen this movie before. He's going to spoil the ending. You play Mana Cyclone on 2 when the game hands you that.
And honestly, pretty reasonable pickups, I would say. They're not strong in terms of what he's going to set up, but they help fill up his hand. And when you're going second, that's one of the tougher things to do, I feel, is fill up your hand and get something done if you have a giant.
That's a good point. Definitely a little slow in the immediacy. If Seiko can pick up some big tempo plays of his own and start piling on pressure, certainly will give him some options later on if it does need to come down to hand size.
Astral Rifts get cheaper with the Sorcerer's Apprentice. He's got another mirror image to add, and you see how Seiko focuses strictly on board presence. Goal number 1, get things in play. Goal number 2, disrupt the opponent and start attacking.
Pheno just slowing down now for the first time. Lots of options this turn. Seen both SIs being played, which are one of the key ways that Seiko would use to kill a Sorcerer's Apprentice, for example, which gives some upside to have that on the board here, protected by some mirror images.
There's actually only a handful of ways it dies, which would be number 1, Backstab. Number 2, it would be a Blink Fox or a Hench Clan Burglar into Vendetta.
Yep.
And then number 3, an Evil Cable Rat into
Kobold.
A Kobold Lackey.
Yep.
My assumption is if he's playing Sorcerer's Apprentice, that mirror image is coming down alongside it.
For sure, yeah.
But, you know, clearly interested in keeping his hand size up. Gets a pretty ideal outcome from the Cinderstorm in that spot.
Worth noting on the mirror image front, though, that Pheno does play 2 Sea Giants, where many decks only choose to include 1 at this point. So that mirror image is actually quite a valuable resource for him in terms of just being able to make big Sea Giant plays. So the longer he can hold on and be a bit greedy with that, the better he can get a payoff. And that is the dream on turn 5 against this board state. And I think you see that look from Pheno. Is like, all right, dealer. If you're going to be like that, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, you're okay with not restoring life for this card if it means that you're keeping your opponent at bay.
Yep.
And I think that's really the big trick for Seiko here. It's easier for him, I think, to just present some counterplay against the Ziliax. But the problem is that he needs to present counterplay against the Ziliax.
Right.
So I think with 2 copies of Waggle Pick, start finding ways to generate.
That looks like a Sea Giant. It certainly is. So now Pheno can start piecing things together here. Some token generators off the... hello. Just a freaking Corcoran Elite.
Look at the look on Pheno's face. All right, I'll play it then.
All right, dealer, if you're going to be like that, I'll just play it.
Always Shadow Step, the Novice Engineer. This is what I've learned.
What if Seiko is so attuned with the Shadow Step Novice line of play that when he doesn't have a Shadow Step, his Novice just always draws a Shadow Step?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What if you already have a Shadow Step equipped to your hero? Do you then always draw Novice Engineer?
Yes. Yeah, I think that checks out.
No, I mean, so far in our instance, we have a
100% hit rate.
Yeah, 100% hit rate.
Boom. Was it ever in doubt? Seiko picks up the Novice Engineer.
You like my invention.
Ooh, does that Burglar change things? Indeed. Why not take the extra card?
Choose soon.
Arcane Shot seems the most likely on the surface. Snake Trap kind of plays into part of your opponent's game plan, which is Sea Giant. Arcane Explosion just far too weak an AoE effect to really have an impact on mage boards. 2 damage AoEs can actually be relevant in the matchup because of the ability to nuke, Apprentice, Cyclone, Khadgar, Mirror Images, all those kind of boards. 1 damage, it's not doing anything.
Yeah, we got a major turn here as well. Sea Giant, playable.
Very playable. Becoming increasingly playable.
Let's go ahead and do that first, just in case.
Yeah, 1-drops here potentially can come down.
I'll have the extra mana, so why not?
Yep.
And keep
Life
pushing the issue.
Drinker. A little bit of healing from the Life Drinker could come in clutch if it comes down to it. But
Seiko.
right now, it's looking like Fino does not have that problem.
Seiko's in some trouble. Does have a Sea Giant of his own, though. So question 1, can you kill Sea Giant? Nope. Okay, question 2, can you kill other things? Yep. Question 3, what can I play alongside of that?
I wonder.
With limited options and life total dwindling, I imagine there's some consideration for Life Drinker, for Ferocious Howl. I imagine Ferocious Howl is going to end up being the follow-up in one of the last plays, just because you need development.
Yeah, I mean, Ferocious Howl, I was kind of looking at for a second, just in terms of like what outs he can find off the card draw. And also the problem saying, you know, Ferocious Howl can be one of your last plays. Well, at that point, it's not stabilizing you very hard, right? Like, you're giving up on the armor potential, but it's just the fact that he's forced into such a defensive position that gaining armor just isn't defensive enough. He needs the board position to fight first.
That was my thinking, too. Doesn't need to stabilize, it doesn't need to be enough.
So yeah, we end up with the play that Admirable alluded to. Kill the other things, just contest the Sea Giant, and just stabilize your health total with what little means you can.
And now with Fino's side, how much damage can I deal, and how long can I deal it for? Well, Frost Nova gives you a lot more time.
It's a simple game in Admirable's head. Well, can I hurt my opponent a lot?
Well, once this point has been established, that's when I understand. Like, I think Fino's play early on gave you an idea of where his head was at. Let's start chipping away at life total. You know, his look when he generated the Core Chron Elite off Astro Rift, and like, yeah, might as well do it.
Yeah, when life gives you a Core Chron Elite, you make Core Chron Aid. That's just how it works. One spell Cyclone just for the development.
In either Flesh Eating Ghoul or Banana Buffoon. I think the Ghoul is somewhat interesting here.
Easiest Flesh Eating Ghoul of my life.
Smack him. Threatens lethal.
$12 showing. 13 with the ping.
If you kill a minion, it keeps going.
Yep. Which means Seiko must be purely defensive this turn. And this looks like about the most defensive thing he can do. But now 8, 10, 12, 15. No, he's still a little off even with Banana Buffoon and Life Drinker, I believe. So 12, Life Drinker is 15. Bananas plus the Buffoon is 17.
If you could spend all your mana and hero power.
And then he can Ray of Frost one of his own minions for 1 extra damage twice if he gets the Sorcerer's Apprentice down alongside that.
That's a front half of Ray of Frost.
Oh, is it? Is it really? Okay.
I'm sorry, the back half, rather.
Yeah, okay. For some reason, I knew what you meant, even though you said that completely backwards. How does that work?
Well, maybe do you use the second one first? I don't know. The first one has Twin Spell, the second one doesn't. Well, think about it. The first one has Twin Spell, the second one doesn't.
I don't want
Which one's the twin? The one with Twin Spell or the one without Twin Spell? Wait a minute. The banana on the... can he play the banana and trade in for value at some point? And increase the damage? No. I was thinking of something fancy. Maybe he can? Because he's getting like a similar amount of damage out of these cards.
Wait, is that the 1 extra? He just shipped 2 damage. No, he shipped 3 damage in, right? Or did he? Might have found it. Hold on. No. Okay. Right, because in the world that I was imagining, you're Ray of Frosting one of your own guys to kill it anyway, so you lose that damage, even though that wasn't possible.
Ziliax! That could save this whole position.
Okay, and then?
Well, you have Ferocious Howl.
Yep.
You have Ziliax. You get to trade off the Flesh Eating Ghoul with the Ziliax.
I wonder.
It's just a heap of health. Is that enough?
Well, the problem for me, I guess the Ferocious Hell does come down on top of it, right? Because just the Ziliax on its own, it heals for 3, it heals for 3 again if Fino has to trade through it. That only puts you on 8, which means the Giant would connect and kill you.
Well,
But yeah,
Ferocious
the
Hell's
Ferocious
5
Hell,
health.
right, the Ferocious Hell being the kicker on top of that. Very, very relevant.
Many options.
The problem from Seiko's side is you have to just trade everything. You're not excited about that, but when you're dying and you get to trade everything, that feels a lot better.
Right.
How different the world would have been if that Snip Snap was already in hand.
Also true.
Unity, precision, perfection.
See, as you can see, it's just that Ferocious Hell that's keeping him alive right now. Otherwise, the Banana Buffoon would just go into the Ziliax and minus that 5 armor.
Is that 1 damage off?
He would go to 11 after the
No,
trade.
it's
So
2
13
off.
at the trade. So yeah, 10, 11. Yeah, 2 off. But now Fino's just out of resources and kind of behind on board as well at this point. Means he's struggling.
You're at 23. The counter lethal is basically impossible. I feel like with Seiko, you know, he's out of life drinkers and he's out of Ziliax.
That is true.
Can you just push and ping and
just
go,
win the ping race?
you got to have it.
Yeah, I like it. Because Seiko actually just also can't race in this situation. He has to take all the damage off the board, so you are almost certain to find those 3 turns that you need to get yourself out of this.
You need a big Blink Fox outcome. You get 2 tries.
You're not wrong. Second chance, big evil miscreant outcome. Lots of kobold lackeys. Not those.
Or none of them. Goblin Lackey can buff up to a 5 attack somewhere on the Blink Fox. I mean, we're getting down to witchy Lackey outs.
And that's real messy.
Fino slapping himself in the face going, focus, focus.
Let's go.
I know it's close, but you've done what you can. It's not up to you anymore.
The 5 mana slot actually has one of the I believe, the second highest outcome to find Rush or Charge to be able to take care of some of this board state.
That's not it.
He's now going to 7, which is actually a very
not
poor
it.
number. He's doing the best he can. He's trying to roll this onto a 2-drop, but that's not going to get him out of this mess. That is going to be lethal on the board for Fino. Seiko had to scramble there to find some outs, and it's the kind of position where, like,